Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone today? I'm just getting one more sip of my coffee. I've been running really crazy this morning, but we have a great show today. I'm so excited about all the topics that we're going to cover. Really amazing week. And let me just take, like I said, let me just take one sip of my coffee here, but really great week. So much amazing energy, so many great questions. Talked about so many amazing topics in my classes, in my workshops, and also different sessions that I've done this week. So much really cool stuff going on. So many people happy with the program. And you know what? That energy from everyone else just gives me more energy. And then I give everyone else more energy. And it's all about energy. So, hey, Amanda over in Instagram land, thank you for joining. And for everyone tuning in the other locations too, we're broadcasting to Facebook. We're broadcasting to YouTube, LinkedIn, Insta, all over the place. So thank you so much for joining, coming back week after week. And tell your friends. We're trying to empower women here and teach them all about the language of money and investing, all those things that are so hard to talk about as women. But you know what? We're breaking the status quo. We are doing it. Yes, we are. Okay, so, and in the chat, Adina's here. Welcome, Adina. Good morning to you too. Katrina is here. Good morning, Katrina. Thank you so much for stopping by. So I'm so glad you guys made it. So let me introduce myself for those that don't know. I am Jessica Perrone. I am the founder of Her IQ, Her Financial IQ. This is the ladies investing coffee talk. I broadcast every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. and all of my videos are posted on my website, which is www.herfiniq.com. I have a page with all my videos on it. My St. Patty's Day video is just four people away from 1,000 viewers. So if you could go and help me make that happen by watching that video, I would love it. And of course, you'd be helping yourself. So it's a win-win for everybody here. So I actually left Wall Street Financial News about 3 years ago to stay at home. And what I realized when I went on this journey was that my fellow stay-at-home moms just had such a hard time talking about money and investing. There was like a genuine fear there. So what came out of that was this program that I've put together, which is a curriculum. So I have classes, I have workshops, and I have my weekly show where you can come and practice the language of investing and also learn about some money tips too. Because, you know, before you can start investing, you have to get your financial ducks in a row. And you're going to hear me talk a lot about that today. We're going to talk a lot about getting your financial ducks in a row before investing. Okay. Now, I just want to let you know, I am an educator. I am not a financial advisor. I am an experienced investor, but I'm not looking to manage anyone's money, which makes me unbiased. I can actually tell you about all the different ways you can put your money to work. And I'm not going to give you investment advice, but I do have a worksheet where you can start documenting sort of companies that I'm talking about, stocks that I'm talking about, and start investigating them yourself. And I use this identifying investments worksheet. So because one of the top issues for women when they start out investing is what to invest in. And the best recommendation for that is invest in what you believe in, but make sure you're diversified. So this is what we try to do. We try to identify investments in your everyday life. And then through the classes and through the progress, we're also going to look to diversify as well. Okay, so moving on here, we have, guess what? We have taxes due soon. Yes, April 18th, taxes will be due. Just in case you didn't know about that, we do have taxes due. And right after this broadcast at 12 o'clock, I am actually doing another event. It's a free event with Mom's Work. It is powered by NCJW Pittsburgh. I'm actually going to put this link in the chat here. So if you do want to attend, it is a free event. And you can hear me talk about what to do with your tax return for a whole hour. Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. We're going to have so much fun. But what I did want to do was I actually wanted to highlight just a few things today as well. Because, like I said, and I say very frequently, you want to get your financial ducks in a row before you start investing. And you know what? Sometimes it's easier to save money than it is to make money. So, can anyone guess what my top, and I'm sure those people that have been to my classes, right, can kind of guess what I'm going to talk about here. But the number one, item that came to mind when I was thinking about what to do with your tax refund was to pay down bad debt, especially credit card debt. Okay. And what's interesting is, did you guys actually know what the average return is? Can you guys guess what the average return is this year so far? I actually found a really great article from Market Watch that was talking about this. And they reported that the average refund so far this year is $3,536. Okay. And that is based on some data from the IRS that was ending in February 18th. Now, that's a little bit lagging. This data is a little bit lagging, but it's up 23%. Yes, up 23% from the same time last year. And that is $2,888 last year. So yeah, we are getting more money in our pockets, which means we have a little bit more money to get our ducks in a row. Okay, so going back to paying off bad debt, especially high interest credit card debt. Okay. And there's two reasons that you want to do this. Okay. So the number one reason is you're going to save money from your interest payments, right? You're going to save money there, right? But it also increases your credit score. And in my before investing class, I actually talked about the importance of credit scores and exactly how much you can save in long-term and large loans. So for example, if you are going out for a car loan, if you have a good credit score, your interest on that loan is actually going to be less than somebody that is going out there with bad credit. They're actually going to have a higher interest on that loan. And I'm going to talk about this more at 12 o'clock in the next session. So if you want to learn more about these items, definitely check me out there. Now, the other item that I wanted to talk about here is contributions to your investment accounts, right? So if you have not maxed out your 2021 contributions yet, consider that. Consider putting an extra contribution into your retirement accounts, whatever it is, whether it's a Roth, whether it's a 401k, whatever it is. And actually, and for those stay-at-home moms that aren't currently working, because in order to have an investment account, typically, right, you need to be working. But I actually saw a really cool note today from Susie Orman. Yeah, I actually saw a really cool note from her. And she actually addresses an issue that I brought up 2 weeks ago from an Economist article that I read. And I'm going to reiterate this. This is from 2 weeks ago. So if you want to check out that coffee talk, definitely check it out on my website. But the article talked about the motherhood penalty. And what the motherhood penalty is for women who have left jobs, okay, cut back on work to care for children. Besides losing pay while away from work or reducing hours, there can be substantial long-term financial sacrifices or opportunities for advancement. Lost opportunities for advancement, raises stunted because they build on low early career salaries, and compromises in retirement since lower pay reduces Social Security, pensions, and the ability to save in 401ks and individual retirement accounts. Okay. This is the motherhood penalty. Okay. And I was actually having this conversation last night at the Coco. The Coco is an awesome workspace for women here in Summit, New Jersey. If you have a chance to check out any of their events, I definitely recommend it. It is just an amazing group of women and it is so empowering. And each one really contributes in their own way. But this is the Susie Orman note from this morning. Okay. So listen to this. She says, I want to make sure that any married woman who didn't have earned income in 2021 is aware she can still contribute to an individual retirement account, an IRA, for the 2021 tax year. Yeah, you can do it. And I'm so excited that Susie put this out, especially so I can let you guys know about it too. So this is the rule here. The standard rule for contributing to an IRA is that you must have earned income for that year. For instance, if you want to contribute $6,000 to an IRA, your federal tax return would need to show that you earned at least $6,000. Okay, but there is a special IRA rule for spouses. So those stay-at-home moms out there that are listening, there is a special rule for you. Okay, so listen to this. Even if you don't have earned income, you can contribute to an IRA as long as your spouse meets the earned income test. That's extra retirement savings for you and your spouse should take care of. So that is awesome, right? So if you are going through this, maybe have this conversation with your spouse, right? And your accountant to see if you can do an extra contribution. Yeah, that's extra, potential retirement investments for you and your spouse potentially. So yeah, definitely look into that. And thank you so much, Susie, for that note this morning. That was really, really well timed. If you're listening, yeah, if not, someone tell Susie that I said hi. I love that girl. I do. I love that woman. Yeah, another girl crush I have. Absolutely. Okay. And so I have two more suggestions for our tax refunds. Contribute to a 529 college saving plan for your son, daughter, or grandchild. Yeah. So anyone that is older, that has grandchildren, that's watching the show, you can also contribute to a 529. So for those that don't know about 529s, a 529 is a college savings plan that specializes in saving money for colleges. Yeah, and I talk more about that in my Investing for Beginners class. And the last way, can you guys guess what my last idea is here? So if you pay down all your debt, all your bad debt, I should say. And again, I talk more about that in my Before Investing class. If you've paid down all your bad debt and all your credit cards are paid off on a monthly basis, yes, you go, girl, you did it. I'm so proud of you. If you've done that, and you still have extra cash that you'd like to put into the markets, you can also consider a type of investing account that is taxed. So a taxed investing account, like a robo-advisor. And two services out there are Betterment and Wealthfront. And those are ways that you can put money into the markets. You don't direct it yourself. They manage it for you. Okay. And they call it a robo-advisor because it's a service similar to financial advisors, but it usually doesn't have as much cost, which is fantastic. Now, if you have like a TD Ameritrade or a Fidelity already, they also offer versions of this. So definitely something to check out on your side. So to reiterate, if you are interested in hearing more, I'm going to talk more in depth on all these subjects today at 12 o'clock. The link is in the chat here. Okay, moving on. Oh, Katrina, I am so glad that you learned about those 529s. I hope you started investing, putting money towards Kayla in that account 16 years ago. That would be amazing right now. So offline, go ahead. I'd love to hear about that. But yeah, 529s, definitely check it out if you have kids and you haven't created one yet. Okay, so speaking of paying down bad debt and credit card debt, there is a trick not a trick. Well, I guess it's a trick. So I'm talking a lot about money today, if you haven't noticed. And one of my pet peeves, I guess pet peeves, is my money in my high yield savings account isn't really making a lot, right? But it's a safe place to have my emergency fund, right? And as you guys know from my before investing class, that emergency fund is your buffer between your high interest credit cards and also a downturn in the markets, right? It's the buffer between your investment account when there is a downturn in the market. So that's your emergency fund right there. But it drives me nuts that the yield that I'm getting on my savings account is, and as of today, the high for a high yield savings account from Bankrate is 0.8%, not 1%, 0.8%. We're getting closer to 1%. And maybe with all of these interest rate hikes that we're going to have this year, maybe savings accounts will get to 1% pretty soon. We might see that. We might see that happen. But with that said, I really, really, really like the idea of cashback credit cards. Now, this only works if you pay down your balance to zero every month. Okay. I would only recommend this for you if you can pay down this strategy, if you can pay down your credit card debt every month. Okay. And there are two benefits of this. The first one is your credit score. Again, I talk about this in before investing because percent of your credit available is also put into the calculations for your credit score. Okay. And if you're paying off your balance and you're not earning any interest, then this is all going to help your credit score, which in the long run is going to save you money if you have a good credit score. Okay. So with that said, I saw this headline come across on PayPal. Okay. So PayPal just revealed a new cashback credit card. Now, it is issued by Synchrony Financial. So Synchrony actually is like the back end of a lot of those credit cards that you see at the retail stores. So when you're at the checkout and they have the Gap, they have the TJ Maxx, those retail credit cards. Well, Synchrony is the back end for a lot of those credit cards. That ticker is actually SYF. And PayPal ticker is actually PYPL. So this is the headline here. So issued by Synchrony Financial that rewards customers 3% cash back when they pay with PayPal at checkout. Isn't that sneaky? Yeah, I think that's kind of clever. Not necessarily sneaky. That's a clever ploy. I think so. Or promotion, so that they can get more people passing money through PayPal. Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. And then an unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases anywhere that MasterCard is accepted. Is that not a direct like hey to like MasterCard? Yeah, I think so. So anyhow, with that said, I actually have some numbers here for you. So if you, for example, spent $1,500 in a month in purchases, right? And you earned the 3% cash back, that's about $45 that you would get cash back in your pocket, right? And over a year, that's $540 extra dollars that you can put in your pocket or in an investing account, right? So now remember, this strategy only works if we're paying off our credit card debt on a monthly basis, because you know what? It is really super easy once you get another credit card to start spending it. And we don't want to do that. No, we don't want to do that. We want to have our financial ducks in a row so that we can invest. Yes, that's for sure. So more in payment news. I saw a really interesting headline come across this morning on the Wall Street Journal, and it has to do with Zelle. How many of you guys out there use Zelle? Between like PayPal and Venmo and Zelle, I love those three apps. I use them all day long, every day. Well, so this is the headline for Zelle. Visa, MasterCard may be challenged by bank's Zelle system in retail. So this is out of the Wall Street Journal. And so Early Warning Services LLC is owned by Bank America, Truist Financial, Capital One, JP Morgan, PNC, and Wells Fargo. Okay, so these are all banks that own Early Warning Services LLC, which has Zelle. Okay, just to give you an idea here. So, and it says here also, just to give you some facts, that consumers and businesses sent 1.8 billion payments through the Zelle network in 2021, up 49% year over year. Yeah, that means people are using Zelle. People are using it, right? And not just a little bit, a lot, a lot. Okay, so here's the headline. It says banks that own the Zelle money transfer service are considering a plan that would have them competing with credit card network giants Visa and MasterCard. And then it also goes on to say that the 7 banks that own Early Warning Services would be able, so the banks say that this would allow most people to sidestep credit card networks and move funds directly from the customer bank accounts to merchant bank accounts. What do you think, people? Is that scary to Visa and MasterCard? What do you think? What do you think about that? But yeah, and guess what? When the street saw this news, guess what happened, right? The shares of MasterCard and Visa went down. So MasterCard ticker is MA and the Visa ticker is V. So we are seeing like these tea leaves, right? We're seeing a lot of people that are like, you know what? We want to try to figure out ways to cut out MasterCard and Visa as the middleman, right? And we saw Amazon sort of trying to do that too. So there's a lot of like thoughts out there. A lot of companies are like, spending a lot of money on MasterCard and Visa. How can we be innovative and get around them? So what is that? What do you guys think that means for Visa and MasterCard? Well, we're going to be watching the news flow on this and see how this develops. But I thought that was a super interesting headline that came out this morning. So we were talking a little bit about interest rates going up, and that is good for savings accounts. It is not so good for mortgages, though. And this headline out of CNBC on Tuesday said that the 30-year fixed rate mortgage averaged above 5.02%. It was the first time the rate had been over 5% since 2013, except for one day in 2018. Okay, so that means mortgages are getting more expensive, right? And I wanted to talk a little bit about reverse correlation. Okay, so we have mortgages going up, right? So there are certain stocks that will typically go down, right, when we see that happen. And some of the stocks that they mention in this article are mortgage servicer stocks. Some of the stocks that they mentioned here are new residential investment. That ticker is NRZ. Ocwen Financial, that's OCN. Mr. Cooper, that is COOP. And PennyMac Financial Services, which is PFSI. So when and those all were falling in trading on Tuesday as the rates went up. So you also are going to have some softness potentially in mortgage REITs when you see headlines like this. And a mortgage REIT that we're watching here is REM. And then also they mentioned some of the home builders that would potentially have softness from increasing mortgage prices. And some of the home builders that they mentioned in the article are Dr. Horton, that's DHI, KB Home, that's KBH, and also Toll Brothers, TOL. So if we are going to have continued rate hikes this year, what do you think that's going to mean for these industry groups? What do you guys think it means? Put in the chat. Let me know what you think. I know what I think, but I want to hear what you think for sure. Also, in other mortgage news, okay, I don't know, you guys, I don't know if you guys have followed Matt Levine. Um, I think he's hilarious. He is the columnist for Money Stuff. It's a free Bloomberg newsletter. If you have a chance to read his stuff, he's funny. Oh my goodness, he's funny. And he actually brings up one of my favorite places, which is Planet Miami, because Miami is its own planet. Let me tell you, if you've ever spent any time in Miami, then you know that it's its own planet for sure. But okay, so this is what he talks about in the mortgage space, and this stuff would only happen on Planet Miami. So bear with me. I'm going to read this to you. It's really entertaining. Okay, so some Miami developers have enabled buyers to purchase homes in cryptocurrency. Yes, you can now buy some developments, some homes in Planet Miami in cryptocurrencies since at least 2021. Now, a pair of Miami lenders is going one step further by offering home mortgages in digital currency. Okay. It goes on to say that Milo, a fintech company in the lending business, has made the first crypto home loan in March when it provided a 30-year mortgage in Bitcoin for a Miami duplex. Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool, right? Now there is a gotcha here. There is a gotcha. So here are the gotchas. Crypto mortgages are structured much like traditional mortgages and are lent out to home buyers in dollars and are meant to appeal to people who have large crypto holdings they don't want to convert back to dollars. Okay. These mortgages require additional collateral in the form of a cryptocurrency, and the agreements allow the lender, now listen up, this is the gotcha, the lender to take ownership of the home and additional collateral in the event of default. Okay. So if the value of crypto falls, okay, and we do see a lot of volatility in crypto, right? The borrower may have to put up more crypto or other collateral. Yeah, that's a gotcha there. So yeah, Planet Miami. It's a really neat concept. But that's an interesting, yeah, it is. There is a gotcha there. You gotcha. Always read the fine print. So a big shout out. Thank you so much to Matt Levine for making me laugh every day. If you have a chance to subscribe to his free newsletter, that is Money Stuff, and you can find that on Bloomberg.com newsletters. And it is free. It is free, and you can get a chuckle out of that as well. Speaking of Florida real estate, Disney. Ticker DIS. So Walt Disney Company, Disney World Resort will earmark nearly 80 acres of land to bring a new affordable housing development to life in Southwest Orange County, Florida. Now, this headline actually made me laugh, okay? Because I love how it's spun. It is spun into a feel good article, right? Press release. And then at the very end, you see kind of the undercurrents of it. But I love how this is spun. And then you'll see why it made me laugh at the end. Okay, so they go on to say, this initiative has been in the works for quite some time and builds on the Walt Disney Company's long legacy of bringing positive, lasting change to the communities it calls home. Oh, yeah, Disney's so awesome. They're so good. Yeah, okay. Making a difference locally to address one of the nation's greatest challenges. Okay, and they're going to bring innovation, expertise, and attention to detail in making this development. Okay. And in the last one here, okay, last sentence. The development will be available for qualifying applicants from the general public, including Disney cast members. So really what they're trying to do is the cost of living is too expensive in Florida. Their cast members can't afford right, to find housing. They're having a hard time finding housing. Rent is going up, right? And so Disney puts together this press release. Oh, it's good for the community. It's good for the community. But it's really good for us. I love how things are spun like that. I don't know. I got a kick out of that. I laughed out loud when I read that last sentence. If you think it's funny too, put it in the chat for sure. I definitely found. I was like Alanis Morissette said, "Isn't it ironic?" Right? Oh, okay. Moving forward here. Last night in my teen class, oh, I love my teens. They are so smart. I know I talk about them frequently. Teen classes also starting up in May, already posted those with before investing. But last night in my teen class, we were learning about the consumer staples sector. Yes, we were. And we were talking about why consumer staples sector does well in a recession. Okay. And coincidentally, I actually saw a real world headline. And I can't remember if it was yesterday or today, but it was here's a real world headline to talk about that backs up these concepts that we are learning in the classes. So listen to this. Investors continue to search for stocks with stable profits, shying away with those offering growth. Okay. So utilities, healthcare, and consumer staples sectors continue to climb on Wednesday. Okay. And so they're saying that like stocks like Amgen, Johnson & Johnson, those are healthcare, were up, and then consumer staples like Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, and Walmart are also up. And we actually mentioned Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, and Walmart last night in our class as well. So yes, when there is unease in the markets, what the smart money does, or what investors do, is they rotate into more safe and stable stocks and sectors. And those sectors are actually utilities. That's one of the last thing that goes, right? Your utilities. You need your water, you need your electric, you need your gas. Healthcare, you need your health services, right? And then you need your consumer staples, which are those things that you need as opposed to discretionary, which are the things that you want. But what I did see was another article which says people are still eating out. That would be consumer discretionary. So if they are still eating out, okay, that means that there is still potentially money being spent out there. So this article was in regards to Olive Garden, which is owned by Darden Restaurant Group. They also own, for example, Longhorns and a bunch of other restaurants as well. Oh, and also Capital Grill. Yeah, Longhorns, Capital Grill, Olive Garden. These are just some of the companies that restaurant chains that they also own, and that you will be a part investor in if you own DRI. So the headline goes, the Olive Garden indicator shows consumer spending is holding up, at least in restaurants. And they're covering a Morgan Stanley call. Analyst John Glass says, while forward-looking indicators like consumer sentiment and inflationary outlook are clouding the investment case for full-service dining, okay, DRI, that's the ticker for Darden. DRI's demand trends remain strong per commentary from the most recent quarter, and management points to positive trends in wage. Yeah, so we're seeing tea leaves that people are still eating out. They're still spending money on going out and experiences, maybe a little bit less on Amazon, right? As per Jessica's recycling day perusals. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so with that said, we are going to go into the news today. And of course, at the top of my news for today, we have Elon Musk. Elon Musk, if he's not in the news for too long, I swear to goodness, he's like, how can I get into the news? How can I get into this? I don't know. But it just seems like that. It's like a big kid that needs attention. But, we saw in the past that Elon's moved Tesla stocks by tweeting, and we've seen him move cryptocurrencies, but now he's moved Twitter itself. Yes, yes. He was able to help push Twitter up 27% by doing this. So Musk is now one of the largest shareholders and has a passive interest, which means that he isn't trying to control or influence the company. But he is now on the board of directors. So I'm not quite sure if you're on the board of directors, aren't you going to influence the company a little bit? I mean, I don't know, but anyhow, so he has a 9.2% stake. But what's interesting is that by being on the board of directors, they're actually limiting him to a 14.9% stake. So he's not going to be able to buy any more than that. Okay, so let's go on here. Some other things I've noticed that were interesting is a headline today, and it is actually a Alphabet or Google. They have a company called Wings, and they have rolled out commercial drone delivery in Texas. Yeah, they've done it. So here, listen to this. This is what they did. Here we go. The first commercial drone deliveries in the US will take off on Thursday as Alphabet's Wing unleashes its aircraft over the suburban towns of Frisco and Little Elm, just north of Dallas, Texas. So no, it isn't a flying saucer. No, it isn't attack of Martians. It's just wings for you guys in Texas. Kendra, I'm telling you, you don't need to freak out. It's just wings. Yeah. Okay, if successful, the service could revolutionize how goods are currently transported around cities. Wing has partnered with Walgreens, ticker WBA, Bluebell Creameries, Easy Vet, and Texas Health for the initial rollout, meaning consumers will be able to order prescription pet meds and ice cream. I don't know how the ice cream works, especially in Texas, but I'm really curious to find out about that, among other items. And then if they go on to say that Amazon Prime Air, the Amazon's ticker is AMZN, and Uber Eats, UBER, have also promised to ratchet up their drone delivery operations in the near future. But until now, the technology has been mainly focused on small scale trials. And speaking of Uber and other gig economy firms, I saw this headline on Trade the News that is coming out of the Massachusetts AG suit against gig economy firms over worker benefits. So we're seeing this come up again. We saw it in California, and now we're seeing it come up in Massachusetts. And you know what? That's interesting. We're going to watch that and see how it could potentially affect these gig economies. But if you think about it, with these drones and these self-driving vehicles, we might have some of these transportation gig economies not need people sometime soon. So yeah, we're going to be watching these trends for sure. Another headline out of some big tech names, though, Facebook is considered communications, as we learned about. Facebook, or Meta Platforms Inc., that ticker is FB, is reportedly considering virtual currency for the metaverse. And I seem to remember, and sometimes, things are cloudy up there. I do read a lot. I seem to remember they used to have a cryptocurrency, which they actually spun off. I have to double check that, but I'm interested in hearing more, like researching a little bit more about that, and maybe I'll come back tomorrow, or next week when we talk about next Thursday at 10 a.m. for next week's Her Investing Coffee Talk. So we have spring break that is happening next week. My kids are on spring break next week. I know a lot of other kids are on spring break in 2 weeks. But rising hotel prices are not stopping American travelers. In fact, according to lodging researcher STR, the average daily rate rose to $149.38 recently, and that's the third highest ever. However, in Planet Miami, only in Planet Miami, okay, there is a $4,000 a night at the One South Beach. Okay. And that is what they are charging for the Formula One racing series comes to Miami in May. So if you're looking to get to Formula One in May, expect super duper high hotel prices. Okay. And the last news item of the day is that earlier this month on April 1st, and it wasn't April Fool's Day either, the House voted in favor of federal marijuana legislation. The Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act was just passed in early April in the House, approved 220 to 204 to legalize marijuana on the federal level and forgive criminal penalties associated with marijuana usage or distribution. And the Senate has a similar bill, but it's unlikely to pass with necessary 60 votes. So I think one of these days I'm going to have to focus on the marijuana stocks and ETFs that are out there. So now here we are, we come to my quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is by Audrey Hepburn. And growing up, I loved My Fair Lady, and her rags to rich story inspired me, especially being the oldest of 8 children and really growing up with no money. Like it really inspired me to become something. So I remember this movie, My Fair Lady. If you have a chance to watch it, please do. It is just a fantastic movie. But this is her quote. I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong. I believe that happy girls are the prettiest girls. I believe that tomorrow is another day, and I believe in miracles. And that is my wish for you. Oh my gosh, I'm getting clumped here. I'm so sorry, guys. But that is my wish for you. I wish for you strength. I wish for you happiness. I wish for you confidence. And I wish for you that miracle, whatever miracle it is that you need to get you through the day, even if it's just a friend's ear to get you through it. And if you wish to take your investing journey outside of the Her Investing Coffee Talk, my classes for May are now posted, and I would love to see you in my classes. I'm Jessica Perrone, founder of Her Financial IQ. You have been watching the Her Investing Coffee Talk. May the markets be in your favor. Bye now. See ya. Take care. Good night. Sleep tight and pleasant dreams to you. I'll see ya. Bye. Thank you so much, Katrina, for coming. Thank you so much, Adina, for coming. Thank you so much, Amanda, for coming. Hey, Moms Work Pittsburgh, I did a shout out. And I put the link in the chat over here. So hopefully we'll get more people showing up for that too. Thank you guys, everyone that's watching it recorded. I really appreciate it. Tell your friends. Let's get the word out and let's get women serious about their money and investing. Bye now.